Alright, so this is episode 7, Port City of Libella. I assume we're going to be heading into the Port City of Libella. Wow, what a great assumption. But a little bit of a recap. We had the continuation of the fight with Orwell, and we had that bombshell of a drop that, oh my god, Akari. There's actually two sides of Akari. The first one is the one that we see, who doesn't really have memories of the times that she has regressed, and the actual Akari, the real one, who remembers the whole journey. But I'm currently not really sure why she's putting on the mask, other than the fact that she's, well, actually, I've literally, just as soon as I said that, I've answered my own question in my own head, which is, she doesn't want people to find out that she remembers the entire journey. So that's why she's making up this new, not really new identity, but this mask side of her. We also saw real Akari taking a bit of revenge, I would say, on Momo, and made her ribbons worn off, and we know how much those ribbons meant to her, and when we saw that it worn off, she went berserk, and she basically destroyed like half of the castle and the entire church, which is just fantastic. We had the mention of the, what is it, the Automa, or at the least, like, the summon of like an angel and a dragon from like the previous episodes, and Momo just came in and wrecked both of them, which is just fantastic. But during the fight with Orwell, Menou had to use Aetherect Connect with Akari and also do something that she wasn't supposed to do, which was to dive into Akari's consciousness in order to use her pure concept, but because of that, she got to see, I would assume, the real side of Akari during her dive into her consciousness, and she made Orwell turn so old she died. So with her newfound knowledge, Menou realizes that Akari has regressed from far into the future, and she had realized that she failed to kill her during that time, so she now has, I mean, it's still the same goal, but she's even more determined than before to kill Akari. But then we also see that Akari does have the same goal as well, which is to let Menou kill her, so pretty nice. Pretty nice. I think I mentioned Scarlet in the previous episode, didn't I? Oh god, that's all I'm thinking of right now. Anyways, I do have my full-length reactions along with my written notes up on Patreon, which you guys can check out in the description down below. Other than that, let us get started. This music is making me think of Final Fantasy X. The Sanctuary. Oh, 3 months? Alright. Alright. You know, at some point, I feel like it might be easier for you to figure out how to send her back to her world instead of killing her. I'm just saying. Holy shit, I just realized that was just Akari posing, T-posing for dominance. Ah, I get it. T for time. Oh. Hello there, people from the opening. Ah, I see these glazed over eyes of yours. They're from the opening, remember? The Wild Frontier. Is this where that fucking room is? Wild encounters. Outlaws. Adventurers. What, you think thieves will aim at the pilgrimage route? How is Momo following them 2 weeks later? This is wearing down my soul. Oh. Mm-hmm. Why? Because Menou's here? My emotional oasis. Menou nutrients? I mean, the way she says it, I mean, I feel like it's kind of real. How's that big-ass backpack hanging on her like that? Oh, she's been here before? Ocean's big. Big and blue. What is it? It's at the Pandemonium. Okay. What is this? Dark Souls? Or is it Demon Souls, actually? Well, they can't even see the rest of the ocean. Libelle Island. Why not? Count Libelle. I forgot to mention that the lady that we saw for like 5 seconds was wearing a kimono. Ooh. Flare it. Huh. This is some nice snake eyes, huh? You remember her. Well, she did visit before. Damn. I live in honorable poverty? Are you saying that with sarcasm? Well, sometimes you don't need a destination. I like taking side trips. She just wants to take detours. Oh my god. She needs to recover on her mental nutrients too. Damn, dude. She probably just ran the whole way. She saw Ashuna again. Hell yeah, Ashuna! A thirst for battle. Oh my god, Momo. Ashuna just comes back like, hey, what's up? Rebels, terrorists, sinners, the fourth? What the fuck? This... Is this the terrorists that were that was in episode 3? So Flare had caught Flarette. Oh, gotta run, Momo! What, you just tossed her in there? What if she just rewinds time? You gotta toss her into the world of demon souls. Maybe worth a try. Momo. Isn't sure about killing that girl. Oh no, the accordion! She's making you doubt though, huh? What's the technology they have? You think they have cameras? Well, actually, no, I just realized they can take pictures with their book. Just you wait, Menou! We're getting in that castle! A priestess can drive boats. Look, she's out here T-posing! What are these, knockout pills? You're just gonna toss her into the... Oh, is it that girl that we saw? I keep mentioning her. Or is it that whacked out girl? Okay. Rumor. You guys all got sandwiches and no one's eating? Stupid girl! Did she say Flare killed her mother? Damn, that's some good-looking sound. Maybe I'm just hungry, but... Can you guys talk any louder? It's all poisoned! You guys are fucked! She is fucking... You're just gonna... bye! Bye, Akari! Damn, dude, she's going into Demon Souls right now, dude. Oh, she's... Condition met. Real Akari wakes up, she's like, ah! So everything must be on track. Alright. Alright. How many times has it been? Something new? Akari just comes out of the pandemonium. Ah! she just flies out of it. Oh. She just... Oh, I mean, she's correct. Because of the drugs. Okay, sure, that too. But mainly the drugs. You say that, but like, it feels like Akari's been using it many times now, and the fuck? You're gonna toss her into a... an Iron Maiden? They're gonna use her blood for, huh? You say that after... Wait, are you making food out of her? What What the fuck? Yeah, this whole episode, I haven't have a sip of my coffee. I mean, assume she's not dead. I assume... I don't know. She just casually brought her in there, and she's like, alright, time to go to the supermarket and find out what to eat. I need to write her name. Was her name Manon? Manon Libella? And who is that girl? Is she like a lost one? So we have something that is a little bit off of what real Akari is used to in terms of like the timeline. So she noticed that there was a light shining down on her forehead. So I wonder what that is. Other than a fucking satellite in the distance that's about the fucking laser beamer. We find out, I mean, apparently they went to space, right? There's probably some space technology. Just laser beamer from the space. Monstrine. Alright. I would assume it's probably that girl. Alright. I guess I'll go write my notes and then we'll be back to the center. They issued you a new scripture. Okay. The acting archbishop. Huh. Who's the acting archbishop? I have enough travel funds for the time being. Okay. Is the sanctuary where Flair had taken her before when she was young? I mean, obviously this is a residential area for lost ones. Okay. I was just looking back at the opening again. Yeah, she wears like, is it a kimono or is it a yukata? I can't figure out which one is which half the time, but I feel like kimonos tend to look nicer. But I was thinking, because I was looking back at this again, right? And I'm trying to figure out the depths of each one. Is this the same girl, not, you know, the girl who did the, who blanched out Menou's hometown? And I was looking at this person, and I haven't really thought too much about them, but I paused on it by accident. I saw that she's also wearing, you know, traditional Japanese clothes, and I was trying to figure out, is that Manon's mom? I just realized this is another person with the letter M. There are 3 characters that starts with the letter M, and 2 characters that starts with the letter A. I swear if that small girl, if her name also starts with an A, I'm gonna fucking flip. I've been just trying to write initials so I can save on space, but like, I can't even do that because now we've got 3 people with the letter M. Anyways. Yeah, because I would assume this is the guy that, in the first episode that Menou killed. So, okay. So she's just out in the sea, and then this girl is just it's just full-on bonkers. She's zonked out of her mind. The Material Room, there you go, that's what it was called. Pandemonium. Okay, so we've had the mention of the Sword Assault, we saw the Sword Assault, and now we've saw the Pandemonium in this episode, and then we had the mention of the Star Husk in the previous 2 episodes, or in the last couple episodes, with Orwell using a bit of the Star Husk. Okay. We have not had the mention of the Material Room yet, but if I remember it correctly, the Material Room is somewhere in the Wild Frontier. Within this area, the Wild Frontier, the environment is so harsh that humans gave up on pioneering it altogether. Stretches of it lie in between the countries. Okay. Outlaws who call themselves adventurers. Area seems awfully... This is the pilgrimage route, so it's relatively safe. So does that mean, like, people of the church will often patrol here to keep monsters away? I just realized Akari basically said the same thing as Menou when she was younger and she saw this place for the first time. I guess that's why she flashed back to it. Except Akari said it with a little bit more emotion than Menou. Is a calamity that almost destroyed the world. So is that an actual person, or is it something that's like... Again, when I think of Pandemonium, all I'm thinking about is Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls, right? I don't think it's Demon Souls. Dark Souls is the one where there's this, like, big fucking city or whatever, this country that's, like, encapsulated by fog and people can come in there, but they don't come out. She's got the heart in her mouth. They insist they're a liberated 4th class who aren't false or noblesse or commons. Oh, okay. Yet all they do is engage in random acts of terror. They don't make any sense, but they've had quite a movement. Our master. So yeah, Flare had caught their leader. Okay. Did we ever learn of the person who freaking told those terrorists to eat the red gem? One of the initial members of the 4th, Count Lebel, also funded their operation. Okay. Now, in his place, the person who put in place as leader of the 4th in this city is his daughter, Manon Lebel. Damn, I'm looking at this meat again, and it's like, it's looking good, but now I'm very sus of the sandwich. I'm very sus. Why does it have to be the successor of Flare, the sworn enemy of the 4th? Is she strong, this woman? Rumors that she's the one who took down Archbishop Orwell. So know how much of a threat? You're too young to know a threat. My mother was killed by none other than her. Okay, so Flare killed her mother. My mother was killed none other than her. She was a useless woman, considering the trouble we went through to get her. Wait, are you saying that about her mom? Like, what the fuck? The trouble that we've gone to get to her, and she still dies anyways. This useless woman. Damn, dude. I would assume he's talking about her mom, but like, damn, like, you're just gonna say that, like, right in front of her? Like, chill, dude. Do something about Flarette. Like, they don't really know her name, they just addressed her as her, title. The Flarette. Before it affects the distribution of our product. What are you guys distributing? You will all enjoy the sandwiches. No, these sandwiches. Well, I mean, actually, I don't give a shit about what happened to these people, but oh my god. Stop zooming into these sandwiches. They look good, but like... Again, can you guys speak any any louder? At least the food she serves tastes good. I'll give her that. And then she just smiles. She's like, yeah. Eat these sandwiches, fucking idiots! So the condition is met, even though it wasn't really a trigger for the mask Akari, but it's just a trigger that she put, knowing that she's going to get to certain places, right? Because she woke up and she's like, oh, I'm in Libelle, I'm in the Pandemonium, so everything is going smoothly. Which at this point, I'm kind of figuring out what this real Akari is planning to do, because she's just like, she wakes up from time to time to be like, oh, alright, I need to, you know, she just goes around, she checks, well, she looks around, and she's like, oh, things are going fine. So, where exactly is real Akari planning to do some changes? You know, like, what is she doing? Other than just checking where she is. It shined on her ribbon first, and then, but, well, it's not that it shined on her ribbon first, but it happens to be on her ribbon, but it was like in a, I was gonna say a stable place. Like, it's not moving, you know? It's only on her forehead is because Akari looked up. I don't deserve to suffer from that kind of thing. Guilt? You don't suffer? You don't deserve to suffer from guilt? The fuck, dog? This is like a normal Tuesday for her. Okay, so I just want to take a look at this other place. It's obviously underground, and you see all the markings on there. I would assume those are like magecraft markings and all that. And like in this room, there's just this fucking Iron Maiden. Cool, I guess. Alright, so that was episode 7 of The Executioner and Her Way of Life. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty nice episode. We're just getting, well, according to the people who read the light novels, we're getting into, what is it, the second volume of this, of the light novel now in terms of the material. So this is more or less a setup to everything that's going to happen later on in the in the anime. So we're getting introduced to new characters. What is it? Manon, Libelle, and I assume that the 4th are the terrorists from episode 3 or episode 2, whichever one that I can't remember. But, I assume that those are the folks who, because they did say that they want the release of their leaders, so that's the only thing that I can think of. So I would assume we now have the name of the terrorist, the Fourth, who considered himself a liberated fourth class, so they're not the commons, they're not the commoners, they're not the fouls or the noblesse. There you go. We also got to see the outside of the pandemonium, which is nice. I'm liking that we get to see all of these, or at least see a bit of these 4 major human errors, so I really enjoy it. And in terms of the destination, they're heading off to the sanctuary, which will take about 3 months, and Menou did mention that Akari had made a jump from several months prior, so I would assume it's within these 3 months that, they travel and they get closer together and everything, and then the end result ends with Flare killing Menou, and then Akari having to rewind time again just to save her, essentially. So anyways, I wanted to talk about Menou, Akari, and a little bit of Momo, since we've only seen her a little bit, before I get on to the new character that is Manon. But alright, so I wrote that Akari runs on Menou nutrients. Well, that's what Akari says. Menou is her emotional oasis, albeit the same can be said for Momo as well. Momo feels the same thing, and that's why she gets jealous of Akari. Akari's getting all this good time alone with Menou, and we did see from Momo that, might as well just talk about Momo at this point, that she is worried that Menou isn't really trying to kill Akari, because she was just like, yo, why don't we just push her into the pandemonium? And Menou's just like, oh, I haven't really thought of that. So that's why Momo is a little worried. She also mentioned that she encountered Ashuna on her way to Libella, and so that got Menou wondering, why is Ashuna coming to Libella in the first place? She had a reason, I suppose, to come to Garm, but now she's heading on over to Libella. There you go. And, we do know that she has a sense of justice, and she doesn't really care if if it's the noblesse or the false or whoever's committing all these evil acts. She will fuck them up anyways. So I would assume she's sorta, her justice radar is like going towards Libella, because as Momo said, Libella is teeming with fucking terrorists. Or the Fourth, sorry. And also, Momo said that she pushed Ashuna into the danger zone of some ancient ruins and just left her there, but I assume she'll get out without any issues, and then she'll meet up with Momo again in Libella. She'll be like, hey, Momo, that was a good push you got me in there. I made it, though. Sucks for you, Momo. Momo was just like, fuck! So that's gonna be nice when we get to see her again, and just makes me happy knowing that once she enters the scene, it's gonna turn into a fucking western again. But moving away from Momo, during their journey to Libella, which took about 2 weeks to reach, Menou had said something about, like, think about your past 16 life, or you've lived 16 years before this, or whatever. She mentioned the age. And Akari says, more or less out of a joke, that she has no recollection of her previous 16 years anymore. Everything is now based on Menou and the present and everything. And I was thinking, like, she jokes, but, like, it feels like there's somewhat a bit of a truth there, considering that real Akari has been saying that she has experienced this many times before. And for someone who has experienced this many times, I would assume that the memory of her 16 years of being in, like, of being on Earth, the world that she's from, that's like a very distant memory from her now, and all she can think about is this current situation that she's in and how she can get out of it, or at the very least how she can get Menou to finally kill her, so then she can not have to go through this entire freaking regression again. Over and over, But when they did get to Libella, Akari said the same thing as Menou when she saw Libella for the first time, which was, wow, the ocean's so big and blue. And so we had that flashback to when Flair had brought Menou to Libelle, and Menou said the same thing, albeit she said it with less emotion. And Flair's just kind of like, emotional as always, huh? But we also got not an explanation, but just kind of like, oh, what is that fog over there? That's the pandemonium, and it's right at Libelle's door. So she said that sealed in there, the pandemonium is a calamity that almost destroyed the world. People can go in, but they can't go out. It's a prison of fog. Again, it's demon souls. We saw that a church member remembers Menou as Flairette, and I wonder if she is somehow working for the Fourth, or the Fourth obviously have consider the whole town's teaming with them. They have like their whole spy system, or they're just systems of people reporting to each other, so that's how they figure that Menou is here. But again, I wonder if that church member is a part, but she does have a design. So I wonder if we'll see her again. I wonder. And they did mention, or at least Momo mentioned, that Flair was the one who caught their leaders, and because of that, they hold a grudge on Flair, and thus on Menou as well, since Menou is her student, her Flairette. And so, taking Momo's advice, Menou takes Akari on a boat, gives her a sleepy pill, so she can just push Akari into the pandemonium. But there was a trigger that Akari had put, and it awakens real Akari, who this is the second time that we see her, and she's just looking around. She's like, where am I? Oh, I'm at Libelle. I've been pushed into the pandemonium. Everything's going smoothly. And it kind of makes me wonder, what is real Akari's plans at the current moment? Because right now it seems like she just has triggers that she put on herself to just make sure that she's on the right track, she's on the right path, instead of veering off somewhere else. To which, again, I kind of wonder what her plan is. Like, don't you think that you'd want at least some sort of change, so then you can change this inevitable destination that you're going to go to, aka Menou's death and you having to regress again? But she's happy that it's on the same path, it's on the correct path, until we notice that a light is shining on her head, which she doesn't recognize. So it makes me wonder, it seems like something is changing in this time zone. I mean, of course it would, or else we wouldn't be having this anime. While Akari is getting swallowed by a big monster, Menou is outside the pandemonium feeling a pang in her heart. She wonders if it's guilt, and then she thinks about how she doesn't deserve to have this feeling, which it's an odd thing. She's like, I don't deserve the guilt, to which it's, I don't know. I don't know, Menou. We'll just have to agree to disagree. But Akari just pops back into the boat, doesn't remember anything. Of course, she doesn't remember anything. But she did have a good assumption that Menou felt a bit sad of being left alone, so that was very nice. And while Menou drives them back to land, Menou worries that Akari's pure concept will go out of control if she keeps using it. But I think at this point she doesn't really realize that Akari has been through this several times, and I wonder if the reason why she has sealed herself is to keep herself from going out of control. That's what I'm trying to wonder. Oh, well, other than the fact that she's also keeping this more or less a secret, that she knows what the hell is going on next. But also, with the light shining on Akari's head, does that mean that perhaps in some way her pure concept is going out of control a little bit? Because I did mention that when time moved back during the train, Menou, Momo, and Ashuna all felt it, and if Akari is able to regress the entire world, does that mean that somebody else has felt it, and does that mean that they are influenced by it a little bit? And that's why there are certain things that are changing right now. But that's pretty much all I've got on Akari and Menou. So let's talk about Manon. Albeit I feel like we don't really have too much to say about Manon at the current moment, other than the fact that we had the talk of Libelle Island, which I assume is where the Fourth are having their meeting right now to talk about what they should be doing with Menou, since they're like, fuck this girl, how dare she be here? She's going to affect our line of distribution or something, like a distribution of our product, which I'm trying to figure out what is that. Is it the red gems or something relating to these sort of to whatever? I don't know. But we found out that Count Lebel fell ill, and because of that, his daughter is acting in his place. And and I'm just being suspicious of everything at this point. So I was thinking, did he fell ill of a natural cause? Like, was this just something that was natural that happened, or was this more or less on purpose? Who knows? We'll just have to find out. And we see that the people who are in the meeting, the fourth who are in the meeting, they are obviously looking down on Manon because they're just blatantly talking shit about her out in the open. But it seems like Manon she has a plan of her own. And honestly, when they ask for her what they should do, and obviously they're just kind of just asking that just because they didn't really listen to her, because she just says, why don't we just leave them alone and maybe they'll leave, to which that is sort of what Menou was going to do. I assume she's just going to fucking continue on to the sanctuary. But no, these dudes and one woman in that in that meeting are just like, let's just preemptively get rid of her, before she affects the distribution of our product. But we had a close-up of the sandwich twice, to which it looks delicious, that's for sure, but I'm just very hungry right now. But I'm also extremely sauced now because she's just over here. Manon is just over here smiling about the sandwiches. After she left the room, and the fourth is just like, God, that fucking girl is stupid, but at least she makes some good sandwiches, am I right? And she just smiles about it. And towards the end, she brings that girl again. We saw her standing in the beach, and we see that girl just kind of zonked out of her mind, like her eyes are just wide open. She's just staring out into the abyss. She's not really looking at anything. And we see her again being grabbed, being pulled by Manon. And she's just like, alright, come on, sit on this Iron Maiden. It's a typical Tuesday, come on, get in there. And so she just crushes her. The girl obviously isn't reacting to anything. She's, again, fucking zonked out of her mind. And Manon's just like, well, I'm hungry. I guess I better go find something to eat. Oh, how about I go to the market today? So I can only assume that, like, she's feeding this girl's flesh to the fourth people, she's making sandwiches out of it. And perhaps that is going to do something, maybe it's sort of like with the red gem that those terrorists swallowed. I wonder if that, if that is sort of something, and then these people are gonna get poisoned by the meat, and then they're all gonna form into a grotesque monster. What a fucking imagery. You are what you eat. But I do wonder what is Manon's plan on all of this, since obviously it looks like she has a plan, and I wonder what the fuck she's doing, whether she is following in her father's footstep and going with the fourth, or maybe she just fucking hates the fourth because they're just talking shit about her. And like, she was like, yeah, Flair killed my mom. Well, they're all like, you don't even understand the threat that Flair is. And she's like, no, I do. She killed my mom. And then one of the guy was like, well, your mom was useless anyways. Jesus Christ, guys. Chill. But yeah, perhaps she does want to take them out, and she wants to go her own way. Who knows? But we will just have to see in the later episodes. This is the part where I tell you, I should have mentioned this earlier, that these are all rhetorical questions. Do not answer anything, alright? Unless I specifically ask you. But if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.